FNAF Ultimate Custom Night is indeed the ultimate custom night, because you can customize all the ways to make you hate yourself. But don't worry, rack up enough of those sweet, sweet points, and you too can behold the majesty of FNAF anime. It's the thing nobody asked for, but everybody needed, I think. Regardless, this game is everything we could have ever wanted. It gives me the dance-inducing euphoric rush that only comes from enduring cancer and getting to the bottom of that gnawing, unsolved mystery. FNAF Ultimate Custom Night is a beautiful combination of nuggets to solve said mystery, chaotic noise meant to throw us off the scent of the truth, and we'll call it bold artistic expression. However, underneath the surface of this kaleidoscope of things and stuff is something quite rock solid. A bedrock so foundational it has held up the collective conversation about the ever-puzzling FNAF-stery. That's a word that means FNAF mystery. I made it up. It's pretty clever. But that's not what's important. FNAF Ultimate Custom Night is the ultimate custom night for a reason. A reason that will blow your brain through your eyeballs and make you question everything you've ever thought about FNAF. In our last video, I speculated that the character we play as during UCN is in fact William Afton, and he's clearly stuck in some kind of never-ending, terrible purgatory. There are just too many ridiculously obvious voice lines from animatronics that point to this. During a nightmare marionette jump scare, we get the line, "This is a nightmare that you won't wake from." Then we've got Nightmare Freddy who says, "I am remade, but not by you, by the one you should not have killed." So if we're to take Nightmare Freddy seriously, and he seems like a pretty serious guy, then not only can the character we're playing as not die, no matter how many times the animatronics eat his face off, but also there's someone he should not have killed. Now, the popular consensus buzzing around YouTube is that we play as William Afton during UCN, and this game is some kind of creepy, terrible, endless, hellish purgatory. William is reliving the terror he caused others over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's a lot of overs, people.
That's a lot of nuts!
Yeah!
Wow.
This stuff is crazy! So prepare yourself for the story of the one who should not have been killed, for the story of William Afton's haunting secret for which he will be punished for all eternity. This is the story of FNAF Ultimate Custom Night. The story you never knew. So then, we've got some uncovering to do, don't we? You see, the more I look into it, the more I realize the importance of the one you shouldn't have killed. And no, gentle viewer, I'm not talking about the one you shouldn't have killed, but rather the one William Afton shouldn't have killed, in case that wasn't obvious. Indeed, time and time again, this mysterious person is thrown into our eardrums by animatronic voice lines. There's Nightmare Freddy, yes, but then there's Withered Chica, Jacko Chica, Mangle, and plenty of others who all chime in to tell dear William that this guy he totally shouldn't have murdered was one step too far. It's pretty spoopy stuff. And I'm here to uncover it all. So let's do that. What's interesting is knowing how many lives William Afton has ended. The idea that there's one he shouldn't have killed is a little odd. We're supposed to believe things were all fine and dandy until one particular person got murdered. Seems a little weird until the connection is made that William is trapped here in purgatory because of that person. This one who should not have been killed is somehow responsible for William Afton's eternal torment. So who is this person? And how did they manage to trap their murderer outside of time and space to be in agony forever? Those two questions are of vital importance, so let's dive into them. Since I'm a chronological kind of guy, let's tackle the first question. Who is the one Will shouldn't have killed? Well, clearly it's someone who feels particularly wronged by our legendary antagonist. In order to figure out who caused all this, let's look at what we know.
Knowledge.
One cornerstone of UCN is Golden Freddy. After getting a high score, we're given this mysterious cutscene of Golden Freddy spazzing out. My takeaway from this is there's still clearly a restless soul trapped in this horrible, horrible suit, or at least there was. You see, good old GF fades away into the distant darkness, which could mean that this soul is no longer trapped. We're watching him die! You know, symbolism. On top of that, Golden Freddy has always felt like an important animatronic. animatronic. He was the original incarnation of Freddy Fazbear. He has spooky paranormal powers like being able to appear from nowhere and haunt your mind, and other cool stuff. Again, I say, this animatronic is important. And so surely it's no coincidence that in what's supposedly the final FNAF game, we get a cutscene with him and this minigame. If you go through the proper motions, you can unlock the Old Man Consequences minigame. OMC was originally a forgettable character in FNAF World, but now he's anything but forgettable. In this red-tinted minigame, Old Man Consequences fishes in a secluded pond, and when Golden Freddy talks to him, we're given the line, "Come and sit with me a while. Leave the demon to his demons. Rest your own soul. There is nothing else." Then the only way to beat the minigame is to drown in the pond. While this is happening, a strange whirring sound can be heard. Speeding this up, we hear... Now, many have speculated as to what this voice is saying. The popular consensus is something along the lines of, "I hate Mike." Is this the voice of William saying, "I hate Mike"? Maybe. Honestly, I'm getting flashbacks to Ghost Adventures where they try to find words out of meaningless noise, and while I do love Zach Bagans, I'm more of a hard evidence kind of guy.
When you taunt a demon, is this guy looking at me over here like I'm a freak just because I'm lifting 65 pounds with one arm?
Fact is, these words are incomprehensible. What isn't incomprehensible, however, is that whoever is saying this line sounds like they're in horrible agony. And considering Golden Freddy is featured in this scene, I'm gonna guess this is Golden Freddy's voice, crying out during the crisis of death. The same crisis of death also represented when he fades into the darkness and the background while twitching uncontrollably in agony. If there's anything to learn from OMC's minigame and Golden Freddy's cutscene, it's that whatever soul was trapped in this world in the vessel named Golden Freddy is now free to pass on to the same place William passed on to. You know, the proverbial other side. We know William died at the end of FNAF 6 thanks to Henry's fiery master plan, and we know that every animatronic died as well, except for Golden Freddy, who was surprisingly absent from that game. So I believe we're witnessing this golden animatronic finally joining the others in death, thanks to Old Man Consequences and his sweet pond. This was the final happening needed to set William's hell in motion. You could say Old Man Consequences is ready to deal out some consequences to William. Anyway, in trying to answer our first question of who is the one William shouldn't have killed, I accidentally answered our second question of how exactly did this person trap William in a hellish purgatory. The answer is that thanks to Old Man Consequences and his mysterious death-giving powers, Golden Freddy was able to take his bizarre semi-omnipotent self to the other side and begin crafting William's hell. If you still don't believe that GF is the King Poobah behind Ultimate Custom Night, then why is he the one shown after beating the game? Why is he the only animatronic to be half material, half ghost? Indeed, if anyone was going to haunt William forever, it would be this guy. So that answers that. And it's now safe to say that the soul inside of Golden Freddy was the one William shouldn't have killed. Nothing says you messed up more than doing something that causes someone to make you suffer for all eternity. Shouldn't have done that. Naturally, from here, the next logical step is to find out who Golden Freddy is. Or rather, who is in Golden Freddy. What soul has haunted him for so long? In a recent video of ours, we got the name Cassidy. But let's rewind a little bit. To give some context, the answer to our question can be found back in FNAF 4. Recall that we witnessed the crying child get his head caved in by the GF himself. This implies a connection between Golden Freddy and the crying child being Michael Afton. Then immediately after, we see Fredbear, aka Golden Freddy, saying he will put Michael back together. Then all the other animatronics disappear one by one until it's just these two, which I take as a poetic way of saying Michael's soul absorbed into Golden Freddy. So case closed, right? Michael Afton is Golden Freddy, who is the one running the show that is William's hell, and therefore is also the one William shouldn't have killed. Hooray! That was easy, but wait! We know FNAF 4's gameplay consisted of a hospitalized child seeing nightmares, which means Michael survived the bite, at least for a while? Maybe. And thanks to the FNAF survival logbook, we know the spirit inside Golden Freddy is named Cassidy. I even made a video on it. We get this from the word search, where the name Cassidy is found by using a series of keys. Using these keys to uncover one letter at a time, we eventually spell out the name Cassidy. And also in this word search is the phrase, "It's me," which Golden Freddy totally says. Bam! Cassidy is Golden Freddy, but that doesn't make sense with Michael being Golden Freddy. Or does it? In MatPat's latest FNAF video, he brought up the idea of Michael being a super realistic android animatronic created by William to replace his son. This explains how Michael was able to survive the scooping in Sister Location and why he was able to hold down a job in FNAF 1 despite having been the victim of this bite. Makes sense. He was recreated as a super invincible android. So then what if the gameplay in FNAF 4, the gameplay that consists of a child experiencing nightmares with hospital equipment around, what if this isn't showing Michael during his recovery from having his frontal lobe taken out? What if this is Michael after being recreated because he effing died? Michael lost his life and his original name, Cassidy, which is usually a girl's name, but it can also be a boy's name, and Scott likes to make things needlessly confusing. And hey, I had a lady geometry teacher in high school named Ryan. Anything's possible. Indeed, Cassidy Afton died that day, fused into Golden Freddy, and then he was rebuilt in android form and renamed Michael. This new mechanical body was then infused with that super cool life force called Remnant. And thanks to the Remnant taken from Cassidy and put into this android, Michael is still haunted by nightmares experienced by Cassidy, including surreal visions of familiar animatronics and hospital equipment from when doctors likely tried to save Cassidy's life, but to no avail. We even see Cassidy's spirit trying to communicate with Michael through questions in the survival logbook. Questions like, "What do you remember?" and "Do you remember your name?" Cassidy also says things through the logbook that only he would know, like how his favorite toy used to be a purple phone, the same phone from FNAF 4. All this in an attempt to remind Michael of who he really is. We even get this creepy, mysterious face occasionally during game over screens. My guess is this is our deceased lad Cassidy staring back at us. The only hole in this whole theory is that Cassidy was found in the newest FNAF book, and she was revealed to be a girl. However, we know the books are an alternative timeline. A timeline so alternative that Golden Freddy is some dude named Michael Brooks, and Fritz and Susie are still alive, whereas in the game, they're dead. And also, there's all those twisted animatronics that aren't even in the games at all. So really, Cassidy being a girl in the books just isn't a big deal. And all of that gives answers to the mystery. We now know the identity of the one who should not have been killed. He was a boy named Cassidy Afton, and rather than rest his soul, as recommended by Old Man Consequences, Cassidy decided to bring his vengeance and weird Golden Freddy powers to the other side, and with the help of the other souls who were also freed by death, make William relive the terror of death over and over and over and over again. Sure, a happy ending would be all the kids who were murdered just moving on and forgetting about all this and not getting revenge for all eternity, but hey, FNAF was never about positivity. That's the understatement of the century, and that's the story of William's wickedness going one step too far. The story of Five Nights at Freddy's Ultimate Custom Night. The story you never knew. And that's my take on Ultimate Custom Night. Let me know in the comments down below if I missed anything. My only hope is that this video blew your mind and melted your brain. It is our mission here at Treesicle to do just that. Anyway, if you liked the video, I'd recommend checking out our latest playthrough of FNAF Ultimate Custom Night. It'll be right here for your clicking pleasure. And if that's not really your speed, you should check out our live streams at twitch.tv/Treesicle every weekday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, which means we're probably streaming right now, or close to it. Basically right now. Join us! It'll be fun. I'm Grant, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!